Welcome to the deep dive. We've got quite a stack of sources today covering recent moves in the crypto space. Looks like everything from big regulatory steps to market dynamics and some interesting applications.
That's right. And our job, as always, is to sort of cut through the noise in these articles. We want to highlight the key insights, the connections, the nuggets.
Definitely. And speaking of significant moves, the headline item we should probably start with today is a big step for a major player, OKX, navigating the regulatory landscape in Europe.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into that. So the reports mention OKX launching MiCA-Compliant crypto services.
Right, specifically in Germany and Poland.
Exactly. And why that matters is, well, MiCA is the landmark EU regulatory framework. So this isn't just some minor adjustment.
No, it sounds pretty fundamental.
It is. It's a really strong signal from a major global exchange, basically committing to play by the established rules in these key European markets. Shows the infrastructure is actively, adapting to formal regulation.
So that's the regulation angle, adapting and complying. But another fascinating piece from the sources points to, well, just sheer conviction from institutions.
Oh, yeah, this one's interesting. The report on Metaplanet, the Japanese company.
That's the one making a, frankly, massive Bitcoin acquisition.
Massive is right. They picked up $117 million worth of Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah, and that pushed their total holdings up to 10,000 BTC, which, the article noted, actually means they hold more Bitcoin now than Coinbase.
More than Coinbase. That's quite a statement. How did they manage that?
Well, this is also interesting. They apparently used funds from a $210 million bond issuance. So they're using traditional financial tools to deliberately stack Bitcoin as a treasury asset.
Right. That signals some really deep institutional belief, doesn't it? Not just a quick trade.
Exactly. Real conviction.
Okay, so 10,000 BTC, serious stuff. We got regulatory adaptation, huge institutional buys. What else were the sources showing us about, like, the market pulse?
Right. We also saw a couple of market snapshots. One piece mentioned AltLayer, ALT. It's a pretty notable jump, about 35%.
35%.
Oh.
Any reason cited?
Yeah, reportedly it was rallying ahead of its listing on Upbit, which is a major exchange in South Korea. So, market structure, news catalysts definitely driving that short-term action.
Okay. And Chainlink, LINK, also had a bit of movement.
Yes, LENK saw a smaller move up, around 2.93%, hitting about $13.69. Market watchers were apparently noting some technical patterns, maybe momentum recovering.
Any analyst chatter?
There was, yeah. One analyst tweeted about a potential longer-term target somewhere in the $32, $38 range, which, shows that people are watching charts closely, but obviously that's just one perspective.
Sure, standard market analysis and trading activity, but the tech itself is also spreading out, right? Finding new applications.
Absolutely. Beyond just the trading floors, one article highlighted Viberate. It's a platform that's now using blockchain for, get this, music analytics for artists.
Music analytics, how does that work?
Well, it's an example of the underlying tech distributed ledgers being applied in a completely different field, potentially giving artists new ways to understand their audience, market data, that kind of thing.
Interesting. So, okay,
Yeah.
we've covered exchanges, dealing with rules, big corporate buys, market moves, tech finding new uses. But the sources also flagged an ongoing policy debate, didn't they?
Yes, and this touches on a really crucial point, privacy. The material mentioned Senator Warren raising a warning flag.
About what specifically?
The concern presented in the source was about tech billionaires potentially using stablecoins, specifically ones created under the proposed Genius Act, in ways that might track people's spending.
Okay, so a potential privacy concern linked to specific legislation.
Exactly. And we're just reporting neutrally on that concern, as raised in the source, of course. But it highlights that the whole conversation around crypto, regulation, and privacy is, well, it's complicated and definitely not settled yet.
Right. So if we step back and look at this whole mix, OKX, Metaplanet, ALT, LNK, Viberate, the policy debate, what's the big picture here?
I think it shows a crypto world that's just incredibly dynamic. It's being pulled and shaped by lots of different forces all at once. You've got increasing integration with traditional systems like OKX working within MiCA.
And huge institutional validation like Metaplanet stacking all that Bitcoin.
Precisely. Plus the constant market activity, the trading, the analysis around coins like ALT and Link, and then the tech itself branching out into new areas like music analytics with Viberate.
And all of that happening alongside these really important ongoing debates about privacy, control, and regulation, like the point raised about the Genius Act.
Exactly. each piece, even though they seem distinct, they all add up. They paint a picture of crypto evolving really rapidly on multiple fronts: financial, technological, regulatory.
Feels like it's maturing, embedding itself more deeply, but yeah, definitely not without significant questions still being worked through.
Couldn't agree more. And maybe here's something for you, the listener, to think about. As these regulatory frameworks like MiCA become more common and big institutional players keep making these kinds of moves,
Yeah.
how might that fundamental balance, the balance between, say, institutional control, individual privacy, and permissionless innovation, how might that shift in the crypto space over the next few years?
Definitely something to keep in mind as you see future headlines.